to those other guys. Hopefully today we don't have any technical issues. If we do, I apologize ahead of time, but we have good faith that today's going to work pretty well. So
yeah, good karma.
we are here drinking our $9 cups of coffee.
Yeah, what is it? An Apple Crisp?
Apple Crisp oat milk macchiato or something like
I
that.
wouldn't have even.
I don't know. It smells great.
It tastes fucking delicious. I don't even know how people ordered these things. I'm like, when I get up to the counter, I'm like, a large French French vanilla something. And they're like, okay, yeah. And then I hear somebody else's order. I'm like, where is that on the menu? You know, I don't see oat milk. They're building their own coffee, but I don't see that. I don't see that.
Like
I need that. If I had that, I'd make some fancy shit all the time. I see these people.
A lot of them order off the phone.
Yeah.
Like I order this off the phone.
Can you do that?
Venti iced Americano, and then you can completely customize it.
What's an Americano?
It's shots of espresso with water.
Ew. Why would you do that? Why would you just get? It's like 5 shots of espresso.
It's 5 shots of espresso.
Good thing I had some caffeine. My reflexes aren't the stoner reflexes.
Yeah, so like you can customize it on the app.
Okay.
So like I customize
Well, you know what's
light
really
ice.
funny?
Light ice apparently to them means like half the cup instead of the whole cup.
All these people that like drink this shit too claim to have like anxiety and social anxiety, right? And then they walk up and confidently tell these motherfuckers that they want a 16 ingredient venti caffeine drink, right? I get up there and real anxiety sets in and I'm like, ugh. You know, like, what are you talking about?
Starbucks supposedly they put stuff in their beans to make it more addicting so that you don't want to go to other coffee shops. That's the conspiracy behind Starbucks.
I'm cool with that.
I mean, I like their coffee.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't give a fuck.
You know what though? I will say I've been enjoying going to like mom and pop coffee shops because they do make some.
And they give a fuck.
Yeah.
They give a fuck.
There's a coffee shop in Clawson that's really good. It's right next to Noble Fish.
Okay.
Man, what is it called? Something White Wolf? I don't know, something like that. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a Japanese bakehouse coffee shop.
What do you get there?
Usually just like they're just pour over coffee, but it's a really nice bean and like it tastes really fucking good.
I don't even know what a pour over is.
Pour over is like when they like you grind up the beans, you put it in a coffee filter, and you slowly drip hot water over it.
Okay.
And then it drips.
Okay, so literally
pour
just
over the
pour
cup.
over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a good way. French presses are good
Awesome. Yeah, my buddy used to have or he still does, but somebody he used to work with had a French press, and on Fridays he'd bring in like this special coffee that he would always order, and they were the craziest bags. I think it was called Voodoo Coffee. And
the bags are sweet.
are nuts.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, with a hint of this, a hint of that type of thing. And he would just make a French press and we'd drink at least like one.
That's how my brother-in-law David is.
Okay.
He is like the coffee connoisseur.
So
like weighs his water and weighs his beans.
So there's a awesome Rogan episode with Coffee Guy, and he explains all coffee came from Ethiopia.
Wow.
Yeah, it all started in a valley in Ethiopia. And in that valley right now, there's still more genetics, if you will, of coffee, more strains of coffee in that valley than there are in the rest of the world.
That's crazy.
And you know how to clone cannabis.
Yeah.
Right? That's how coffee spread.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they cloned it. And get this, they cloned it in Ethiopia and went across a river or lake or something to Yemen in the port of Mocha.
And that's how all those...
And it tasted a little chocolatey. And it was either Mocha or Java. And then they cloned it again, and then there's an island called Mocha or Java, and then that's where it started growing. And then they grew it in Colombia, and Jamaica, and Hawaii, yeah. But it's all from like the same
lineage. Yeah.
Literally the same fucking plant. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Isn't that dope? And that's like how coffee started.
I mean, dude, he gets coffee from this company. He's like sponsored by them, Passenger, and it's all like custom beans and mixes and like all over the world. It's some of the best coffee I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is with that kind of coffee. It is so strong. it'll light you up.
Probably because it's just fresh.
One cup and you're zinging all day long. He has 1 cup of coffee a day and that's all he needs. And he's like up for a long time.
I would like that.
Trains like 2-3 times a day. Like, it's crazy, but it tastes so good. And it's like, it's not like dark. It's like almost like,
Like
it almost
tea.
looks like iced tea.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what this dude was saying.
Story, but
That's what this dude was saying is like in Ethiopia, a lot of the fine coffees that you'll drink are almost like tea.
yeah,
They
light
have-
and medium roast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a Yemen coffee house now in Dearborn that I want to try.
You like Turkish coffee?
I've never had it.
Turkish coffee is really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like similar to espresso, but it's brewed a little differently. Like you actually boil it on the stove and everything. Like espresso is like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
mashed and pressed, and then
I had some with a ex, her dad, who came straight from fucking Italy. He cooked that bitch right on the
Yeah,
stove after
yeah.
dinner.
So
and he poured
Turkish
it.
coffee is similar,
Okay.
and you cook it you boil it on the stove, and then you put it in little cups, little tiny cups, and then you drink it, and then like the residue sits at the bottom, and there's like fortune telling that can happen. Like you're supposed to get supposed to get your cup read after finishing drinking after dinner, and like somehow, some way, people see things. Yeah, yeah.
So when the guy was talking about it, he said that optimal temperature for coffee is like 195. And while he was explaining this, I was extracting. And that is literally what you're doing. You're extracting the oil from it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was so crazy. It's just another method of extraction, but you're extracting from the coffee bean instead of cannabis. And
Yeah.
I was using butane where they were using water.
Yep.
So it's just,
Crazy.
it is nuts.
Yeah, so like that's why like Kettles, like Fellow is a company that makes like really top of the line coffee stuff. Like
Okay.
electric kettles, like things like that. Their electric kettle has a setting for like 195 degrees, and it just instantly spikes the water up there, and then you just drip it over your coffee. I used to do it, but like, man, it's so
It's a lot.
consuming.
Yeah, that would be like a weekend.
Dude, I learned so much. Like when you put water and it starts, air bubbles start popping in. You're not supposed to pour any more water because that's the carbon dioxide releasing, and it's going to taste better.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
let all that happen and then pour more water over it. It's pretty crazy.
It gets to a science.
Yeah,
For sure.
but it tastes good. My story was we were in Reno, Nevada, which is not a fun place, but
You're talking about the most recent trip?
yeah. And Mike Nassif was with me, and so one day, you make coffee like normal coffee pot, right? You do what, like 2 cups of water for every scoop
I've
of
never
coffee?
measured anything.
Okay, so the way I was taught was you do 1 tablespoon of ground, 2 cups of water,
Okay.
right? So I did that one morning, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make 6 cups of coffee. Who the fuck's gonna drink 6 cups of coffee?
Right.
We're gonna have 1 cup each and have to leave. So I start making the coffee, I turn it on. It fills up to 6, so it's done. So he comes into the kitchen and he's like, damn, and he fills up water, puts it in the back of the machine, puts it in the back of the machine, puts it in the back of the machine, and it was already done brewing. So then it started pumping all this water through it, fills the coffee all the way to the top. I said, Mike, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I thought it stopped. And I was like, no, that's all I made. Dude, I looked at the thing, the filter was full of water. I go, dude, you made tea. I poured it in front of him, you could see right
Let's
through
see
it.
through it. Oh my god, that's hilarious. He must be used to a Keurig.
He is.
Yep.
Or an espresso he uses.
Oh, that's
Espresso's
hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, I had a coffee pot like that for the longest time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, especially on the weekend, because you don't have to wait for it to reheat or anything. You just
Usually not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Like, what do we have at home? We have a Keurig, and then we have an espresso. The espresso, like, machine thing. Dina likes that, because, like, it's like, 1/2 is the coffee portion, the other half connected to it is, like, a milk frother steamer. Like, she can make a full latte on the machine.
Dude, I have no idea. I started going to Big B because Big B, like whatever's on that board, they'll give it to you. But if you go to like Tim Hortons and you order like a cold brew, like mocha cold brew something, you could get anywhere from 3 different drinks depending on the dummy that's working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Man, there's no Big B around here. I haven't been to a Big B in a while yet.
there's one right by my work, so I just go to that one all the time. And I know that I like the mocha cold brew with sweet foam. Don't know what the fuck it
Mocha
is.
cold brew with sweet foam.
Yeah,
Sweet foam is probably like
it's like a
cream
sugary
with like
cream. I think.
syrup inside of it.
It's delectable. And then they're like, "Do you want chocolate on it?" And I'm like, "Duh." So they give it a little drizzle, you know. And like I take the first couple of sips, how you're supposed to, I think, and then I mix it. It's a treat.
They have a pumpkin cold foam, like
wow.
like a pumpkin flavored cold foam, and I got it one day just to try it, and I threw my drink away because it was so sweet.
Was it too
I couldn't
much?
even do it. I was like, this is overboard sweet for me.
Yeah, you're not a sweets person.
I am, but like not that sweet.
Like
I'll do
like,
chocolate.
I was gonna say like
Yeah.
savory.
I'll do like
almost.
almost savory, salty, sweet. Like,
Yeah.
but like that was rough. And I was like, people drink these all
Dude, I swear to God, I was joking, but like, how many teeth would it take you to lose
until you stop.
before you started like brushing your teeth? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I saw somebody with no teeth, and now I didn't ask if they have like a disease or something. You know, I'm not making fun of them for that, but I don't think it was. I think their disease was meth. So they had no teeth, and I just wanted to be like, how? You know what I mean? Like, what is that good that you sacrifice
Yeah.
this for? Is meth really that good? Like, if it is, I kind of want to try it. Just, I mean, if it, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't think I would be addicted to it. I think I could quit it because I have like a good life, you know? So like, I'd be okay getting out of it. But I used to work with a meth addict. And I heard that because I asked him, like, how much would $20 get you? And he's like, $20 would get you high for like 2 weeks. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
And
my
that's
God.
what
the problem.
happens. Exactly. That's what happens. They smoke it and then they're high for fucking hours. And what ends up happening is they don't go to sleep for days. So that's when like the psychosis comes in and they start seeing shit, is because they haven't slept. And I know. And he's like, dude, he's like, you can be up for a whole week.
That's crazy.
That could like kill you if you weren't high.
Meth is what? Like Coke made with a bunch of shit?
No.
Or no?
Meth is methamphetamine. It's
like homemade methamphetamine.
Yeah. That's where like
It's like homemade juiced up Adderall.
Yeah, it's 100% that. Yeah,
Damn.
I know. And then they smoke it, which I'm assuming is a more direct hit.
Yeah.
So like that to me is crazy. But I did ask him. I go, what's the best drug? And I didn't even get the whole sentence out before he goes, heroin. And I was like, damn. And he's like, yeah, there's a reason why people will just give their entire life to do it.
Well, I mean, have you ever? You felt with
Morphine.
fentanyl.
I've drank lean, which is codeine.
your fentanyl was given to you while you were in surgery.
That was nuts.
In surgery or after?
No, before going under for a bronchoscopy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for.
But you know how that felt, and like it's crazy.
Oh my God.
Like I've had like Dilaudid, I've had morphine, like I've had those things, and it's like,
Did I tell you?
dude, they gave me one time I went in, I like really hurt my back, and I kept refusing meds, and then I was like, I can't fucking do this any longer. Like, yeah, and they gave me Valium, Dilaudid, and something and another thing. Dude, I was happy for a week,
Tap me in, coach.
and I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is crazy. How good do you feel?
It's. I mean, and
And
that's
you're
how.
trying to escape something.
That's how exactly. That's how most of these addicts have it. It's an injury or something that they
Well, yeah, a
didn't
lot of
plan,
that, yeah.
and then they get hooked to something because it made them feel good for the first time.
I had a friend that had a really bad injury, and he was pretty addicted after because that was during the whole like you could walk into a pain clinic and get
Right,
meds
get
kind
what
of
you
thing.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like to the point where like he was like willing to break his hand to go get meds and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean,
You still watch that show yet?
no, I haven't.
No.
I haven't. That one's gonna hit home, man.
Yeah.
You know, so like I kind of gotta prepare for
Yeah.
that one a little bit. I'm an emotional dude. I was watching some shit and I'm like, why the fuck am I crying to this? You know, it but it was an emotional scene.
Dude, some reels make me cry.
100%.
Like,
I learned that like from my grandpa. My grandpa will cry at a commercial, but will cuss you out in a second, and it's just the funniest shit. He's just like one extreme to another, and he told me a story once where they were cleaning up, but who knows how true it is. He has never lied to me. He doesn't embellish anything, so I believe him. And then this was way back in the day too, right? In Melvindale, white boy, he got treated nicely. So like the Melvindale versus like Lincoln Park, there was a fight in like a diner, and they got into a fight, and then they got arrested, whatever that meant back then, and they were in jail, and he had to like sweep the jail, right? And a cop was apparently talking shit to him, so he was like sweeping, put the broom down, and jumped over the counter and started punching the cop and trying to fight the cop and shit. And then they like locked them up for like another night. So I don't know, right? Now you do that, you're going to jail.
yeah.
But that's what he said. And like I think of this story as he's like crying to a commercial of like yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. It's funny how like the most like violent men I know or think of or can think of are like also the most like emotionally humble.
Well, they're probably just emotional.
Well, yeah, they've seen the extreme.
Yeah.
You can't tell them they're not a man.
No,
you know.
no. Damn, that's crazy.
Right? I think of that when I think of like who I see people attracted to in the sense of their like motivation. Right? When I see somebody like looking at like a philosopher, I feel like they have like a troubled mind and they're trying to find peace. And then when I see somebody that likes the loud and proud, like Gary Vee, to me it seems like they're like scared and they need like that umph.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I find that like with who I speak with.
It's pretty good.
Right,
like,
because
the
like
people
that's what
attached
hits
to
you.
like the Grant Cardone and like
I don't
the
know who that is.
he's like the real estate guru.
Okay.
Like more that gets on stage screams at everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Like those people who do usually attach to those. I've noticed are the ones that are very like
They're normally
Power.
meek and
Yeah.
like very like reserved,
Yeah.
if you will, introverts, right? They don't really.
scared to take risks.
So they look into an extrovert,
Mhm.
right? Oh, that's who they romanticize.
Yeah.
Where somebody who is normally always going or always spouting emotionally looks to the logical, deep thinker because they're like, I want to. That's what I romanticize.
Yeah.
That's
They
what I
need
wish
to
I
calm
could do.
down. Get
Yeah.
some, yeah. Damn.
Right? That's
Yeah.
what I think of because that's who I romanticize. I romanticize the calm mind, the Marcus Aurelius,
Yeah.
the Socrates, the Plato's, all that shit. Because I don't need somebody to tell me to get going.
No, I don't
You
need
know,
that.
yeah.
I
I'm already- I'm already like, I
I'm
need
already
to
going, dude.
Dude, that's why I need to smoke weed because I need to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
That's why I've never done coke. I know I will like that shit. We were talking about like prescription though. When I got out of surgery, they told me I had the button, right?
Mm-hmm.
The morphine button, and it reset every 10 minutes. I set a 9-minute and 59-second timer on my phone for from light would turn green, smack. I did that for an hour, and I started getting overheated. Like, boom, as soon as I could, I started getting overheated. My heart rate went up to 130, and I like couldn't breathe. I was laying down and I couldn't move. I was right out of surgery. It was like 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. There's a guy in there
Well,
cleaning.
Doesn't morphine and that kind of stuff cause respiratory depression? Yeah.
So they thought I was going to go to sleep. I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. So I'm ringing the nurse button. I'm ringing it, and this guy's standing in my room. I'm like, you have to give me my oxygen. I can't fucking breathe. He's like, I'm like, dude, hand me the fucking oxygen. And he wouldn't. And I'm yelling at him now. I'm like, give me the fucking oxygen. And finally gives it to me. I can finally just start taking deep breaths. And the nurse comes in and she's like, what's going on? I was like, I couldn't fucking breathe. I was like, get that fucking button away from me. I couldn't fucking breathe. I go, and this motherfucker wouldn't give me the oxygen. She's like, well, to be fair, he could. I'm like, I'm yelling at him that I can't breathe. He can hand me the fucking oxygen.
See, okay, that's where I have an issue. Like, yes, I get that that's not his job. He's not allowed to do that, but like,
It's
you're a
oxygen.
human, bro.
I wasn't asking him to squeeze the morphine bag. right? I wasn't like I'm in pain. I was saying I can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
Yeah. No. Go fuck yourself, okay?
Yeah, but that's like that's what issues with morphine can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's what I was tripping about, and a lot of it was probably mental.
You probably just got anxious when it first started, but you were probably feeling it too at the same time.
And man, I didn't touch the button after that, and then when I went home, I realized I was looking forward to the next pill, and then I stopped. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So then I stopped and would take like one a day and like parse it, like half and half. And then I like stopped. I'm like, okay, cool. Because it almost happened with Flexerol one time. I like pinched a nerve and I got Flexerol, and that shit made me sleep 8 to 10 hours every night like a rock, and it was addictive.
Damn.
I know. I've never had sleep like that. Like since like the 3rd grade is the last time I can remember sleeping like that.
I took trazodone.
Which one's that?
It's technically an antidepressant, but they give it to people for sleep because it makes you pretty drowsy and like really knocks you out.
Gotcha.
During prep, I was taking some, and like after
Just
prep,
to help you.
yeah, just after prep, like I would smoke and then take half a trazodone. And was
Good
doing that, like I did that like the last probably 6 to 8 weeks of prep, just to sleep, and then after prep it was like
Hard to sleep.
well, so I was doing the trazodone and smoking at night. During the day, I was taking Adderall to work. So like when prep finished, like it was hard as fuck to stop using Adderall, to stop using trazodone, because like as I gained fat back, I was sleeping better. I don't need that anymore.
Right.
Work, same thing. I didn't need the Adderall anymore. And then once,
But like,
and
it's like, do I get everything done in 3 hours?
or do I work 6 hours
Yeah.
today? Yeah.
And that's what almost becomes addictive, right? To me, it's like, I know, like, okay, weed, I'll say I'm addicted to it because it enhances my life. But I knew I was addicted to it once when I was trying to like return a shirt for $20. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing? You know? So I didn't smoke for like 3 days to prove to myself that I didn't need it. And then I only started using it to enhance life. Like, you'll never hear me say I need a blunt. You'll never hear me say that, because after work, if I need a blunt, I will take the time to reflect on it and get it out of my head and make peace with it and then enhance where I'm at. Rather than I need this blunt to get back to normal, right? And I think that's what becomes addictive, is it's a crutch, it's an assistant, it's to help you go to sleep, to get that 8 hours. It's to help you not feel pain or to escape reality, right? And that's where like I feel like the addiction really happens. And then it is a disease. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it is a full-fledged disease. Like, is it a choice? Sure. But nobody chooses to like wholeheartedly give their life to that. They're choosing to escape reality. And humans have been doing that for fucking ever. For fucking ever. Cannabis usage was like 5,000 years ago in China. You know, they made it a tea, right? Because what's a side effect of cannabis? Euphoria? Why is that illegal?
Yeah.
Why are people in jail for euphoria? That's crazy. Meanwhile, we hear all the side effects on a commercial. Death is normally one of them. You cannot die from weed. You cannot die from it. 2,000 pounds would have to fall out of the sky and crush you. That's how you would die from it.
Did you see what the Biden forgave?
That is fucking dope as fuck if he ends up doing that.
Oh, he was just talking about it?
I think, I don't know. If he did it, then hell yeah. And it's like way over fucking due.
Yeah.
Way overdue.
I told you about did I say it on here? Maybe I said it on here. About that dude that was in prison in Michigan for like 30 years for a cannabis
I
charge.
think so,
And he took a picture in front of a billboard of a dispo. And was like, I just served 30 years and you guys are out here now selling this stuff.
Making money.
With
Legal.
all you need is an ID now.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of them.
And they lose their appeals. That's what's crazy.
What do you mean?
Like if they try to, like they lose their
Oh, the appeal. To,
get out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even today.
I know. That's fucked. It's so fucked.
Now it's like so easy. Like it's not even, some of these charges now are misdemeanors.
Right. And
They're not even
people
felonies anymore.
people still doing time for it.
I don't even know what you'd be having to do in the state of Michigan to get a felony now. You'd probably be, besides like guns and whatnot, but like strictly like growing or whatever. Like I bet it's really hard to get a fucking felony. Like it's probably like a slap on the wrist. We'll take your equipment. Peace out.
And if you made money doing it, you can buy anything anywhere.
Yeah, you're good. You're done. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, but
it's different times, man. A lady comes into work, was born in 1937, and that was the year that it was made illegal. Like initially, that was when the cannabis like law first was made illegal in 1937. Until then, it was completely legal, and she was born in 1937, so she lived its entirety of it being illegal, and now she gets to buy legal weed. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool. At least you
It's
didn't get
crazy.
in trouble.
37, bro. She's what? 80 something? That's nuts.
37 would be 85. That's crazy. The other day I forgot how old I was.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
We were in a meeting and I was like, I think I'm 29. and everyone was like, Dom, you're 28. And I was like, no. And I pulled out my phone and I was like, 2022 minus 1994.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's a day and a half, huh? What were you doing? Were you eating mushrooms that day, you motherfucker?
No, it was a long day and we had a meeting in the middle of the day with
Well, mushrooms will make you think you're older than you are.
with our assistant coaches, and I asked like two of them how old they were. And then I was like, oh, okay, so like I'll be 30 next year. And then Ryan Zisloff was like, no, you're not. And I was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, I turned 29. I don't know what the fuck happened.
I'm telling you, the mushrooms age you mentally. Just like make you stronger. Make you, because I've said it 100 times. I'm like 150 fucking years old now because I lived those 3 50-year lives under a mushroom trip once. And like nobody can tell me I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, and when I came out of that, reality was rough for a couple of days. It was really rough. I thought I was going to wake up on Josh's couch for days. I thought, this is it. I'm going to close my eyes and wake up on the couch. And it just kept going. I could wake up on the couch tomorrow. But no, mushrooms will age you quick mentally. But they make you like mentally strong, right? It's because it's more clear, more focused. You're getting more in.
Yeah.
Your brain is working harder.
The focus is actually pretty
it's nuts.
pretty intense. Like if I do like 0.3, 0.4 in work, it's like
Adderall,
zoomed
right?
in, almost Adderall focus kind of thing.
Yep.
But
Your brain's just rocking and rolling.
yeah, but dude, it'll take you in different directions. Like if you're like yesterday, I had a really like stressful ass day and I was ready to run through the wall. And
Dude.
and I was like, and I had microdosed yesterday morning, and then I was like, man, like this is really a setting environment kind of thing because
setting.
Yeah, because it's like, because most of the time when I do it, I make sure I do it on a day where I ain't got shit to do,
Right.
so I can just enjoy, chill, whatever. But like yesterday's day turned like really, it was like a lot of work, and then it started getting really overwhelming. And then I was trying to work, watch Blake. Charlie's going fucking nuts. Like, and then I started getting really like overwhelmed. And I was like, dude, I could have ran through the wall. That's how like, I don't know, irritable I got.
Right.
Which I haven't felt like that in a long time. But I don't know. But they definitely take you in direction on how you're feeling or whatever kind of environment you're sitting in. Because I noticed that a lot. Like I took some before I went on the flight to Reno, and that was chilling. I was like,
you were good.
It was nice. And then I noticed with me, it's like I feel really focused, creative, and then I kind of come back to like normal, and then I get really giddy, laughy out of nowhere. Like, dude, I was crying watching reels because I was laughing so hard on the plane, and the guy looked at me and was like, "You're living a good life, man." And I was like, dude, yes, I am. Like, I was like bawling my eyes out watching
That's
reels.
hilarious. Was that when you were sending it to
When I was
us?
kept sending them to you guys, I was on the plane and I was like, I was
dying
crying, just
laughing.
dying laughing.
That's awesome.
And then I like the way I feel the days after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like That's what's humbling about them.
And one thing that I think people need to realize is I don't take anywhere near enough to actually be high.
No, not to a trip.
No.
No.
You know, it's just like some of the days it's like nothing.
Right.
Nothing happens. Some of the days it just, I feel like it depends on like how I take it when I eat, how I do it, right? If I take it, don't eat, have caffeine for a few hours, maybe I'll feel it a little bit more. But if I take and eat, like, it feels like a normal day to me.
Right.
But it's like the after effects. The next 2 days usually I feel pretty good.
And that's what I was gonna say about like that's what's humbling about them is like the difference that it can do, right? The variation of what you're getting because you're just taking the same thing you took yesterday or the time before.
Yeah.
But here's a whole different journey almost.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes you realize like that let go feeling. Cause that's when you try to fight it, when you try to like, let's go back this way. Let's go back this way.
No, you'll feel like shit.
Is when you have a bad time.
Yeah.
You have to, alrighty, let's go this way. And then you just get
I told you with that one YouTube that I follow for psychedelic stuff talks about, they say with shrooms, you're in the passenger seat.
Oh, yeah.
With LSD, you're in the driver's seat.
See, I still haven't tried LSD.
Well, now it makes a lot of sense because like the first couple times, like I did try to like make myself think I was feeling a certain way. And I got nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
I got dizzy. Like, I don't know.
Right.
People might be listening to me. You guys are a bunch like whatever, but like,
See,
don't say it until you fucking try it.
Exactly, dude. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is most of those judgments are going to come from people who have never tried it.
Yeah.
The people that have tried it, they're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Like they're
100%.
going to know exactly
100%.
what we're talking about.
100%. Anybody that has taken a macro dose is humble when it comes to this shit. I promise you. They will believe almost anything. I've watched a salt lamp turn into a lava lamp. And not like take the shape of, but it just started flowing.
Like moving.
Yeah. And it could only be described as energy, right? Like the energy of it. So, man, I just sound like a broken record because you take that all the way back to when we couldn't explain shit. We didn't have the science to explain it, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
God.
It's God. Every time. If miracles are on the table, right? They believe that Jesus walked on water. He brought somebody back from the dead, turned water into wine, and made all the bread and fish, right? If miracles are on the table, nothing's off the table. If you believe somebody came back to life after 3 days of being dead, there's nothing you won't believe, right?
Yeah.
Essentially,
yeah.
because make that story anything else and it's a fairy tale. But if you're giving your life to that story, there's nothing you won't believe.
Yeah, and like one thing that I've talked about with one of my friends was, I don't know, it's weird. Like if you think about it, right? You have these people who wrote these stories, like Beowulf, Lord of the Rings, like these authors, right?
Right. Why?
I'm sorry. Where did they get the mind to do something like that? I know there's people who really believe that some of that shit actually existed somewhere else.
What do you mean?
They got a glimpse of it somehow. Like Dante's Inferno, right?
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's extremely detailed.
Well, isn't that where?
And supposedly he received like a divine intervention to write it. Like an angel came to him and told him, "This is what hell is like. Write it down." And there's people that I know that I think are pretty smart, and like I listen to everybody. I don't,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, of course.
And he was saying, dude, like think about it. How could Tolkien write a story like this with no reference whatsoever? Like he really thinks that there's things like that in other places,
Divine interventions.
or not even like just a universal feeling or just something that sparks that kind of imagination. But in reality, like maybe it was real somewhere else.
Bill Burr has a funny line. Somebody goes like, "You can't make this shit up," and he goes, "Why not?"
Yeah.
It's like somebody made up Star Wars.
Yeah. Think about that, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
I know.
Where does a mind get that creative?
So where does
Tolkien wrote a language.
where does an idea come from? Let's get stoner as fuck. Where does an idea come from?
Where does an idea come from? Like,
Where does an idea, man? Because like is it always? I see Dom has a coffee. I'm gonna go get a coffee.
do you think it's cause and
Is
effect?
it influenced? Are any ideas?
I think
pure?
I think some are influenced, and I think some are pure.
Okay, where do the pure ones come from?
I
Because Rogan has a cool idea that they're aliens, right?
I
That
think
it's
it
an-
comes from I think it comes from your pineal gland.
So that's the alien aspect. Is that it's like something like interfering,
Yeah.
something, and like the pineal gland supposedly is where DMT is processed in the brain.
Yeah.
And I mean, the pineal gland looks like an acorn, and there's a random acorn statue in the middle of the Vatican. I don't know if it's in the middle of the Vatican, but it's in the Vatican. And it represents the pineal gland, like it's known.
Well,
In
it's
the
called your
Vatican.
third eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Exact. But okay, so here we go, right? We're taking all the third eye is what? That's like Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
Chakras, aligning yourself. There is an acorn statue, a pineal gland statue in Catholicism in the holy city country of Catholicism, right? And then like DMT is Peruvian, South American plant medicine
And it's all
that they've been making for thousands of years.
yeah.
With a bark and a root. And then the root dumbs down the
Side effects.
inhibitor, the
Yeah.
aromatase inhibitor or something that you have in your stomach so that the DMT can be processed from the bark. How do they know? And it's been passed down for thousands of years.
Yeah, but I think that's where some of our ideas come from. Like those true ideas, right? The people who innovated something that's never existed before. How did they think of it?
Right. That to me is nuts because I don't have that, right? Like Josh helped build my grow room. He built my grow room. And he went down into an empty basement. And
That creative mind is insane.
And to me, I can't
Like
do it.
the I can look at something and see the finished product.
Right.
That is a gift.
And like build it as
Yep.
you're looking at it. Like, okay, a wall goes here. Like somebody had to do this,
Yeah.
right? I would never be able to do this. That's
hard.
That's Einstein's quote. About,
Like when we look in our empty warehouse for the gym,
right.
we have to try to imagine what this place is going to look like when it's finished.
And where I was going with Einstein is like that's his thing about you can't test a frog on its ability to climb a tree. Right? So everybody has something in it. I can't build a house. Sal can.
Yeah.
Right? Sal probably can't do some shit that I can do. Right? But then I can't do shit that you can do. And you right and it's just so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And that's where like the community of humans came from. Like somebody
Relying on
doing
each
yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, some were good hunters. Some were good builders. Some were good caretakers. We had roles, and now nobody has a role anymore other than to make somebody else money, and we're all depressed. Go figure. Right? That's that Tribe book.
Yeah.
I told you.
I started listening to it.
So did he get to the part about how there's never okay, I don't know if I'm spoiling. I don't remember if it's in the book honestly or if he talked about it on the show, but there were kidnappings, right? They would kidnap a settler and like negotiate, stay the fuck out of our land and we'll give you the settler back. They would give him back and then that settler would defect and go back and live with the Indians, with the natives, because they had a better role even as a prisoner.
Oh, then that community.
Then yes. And there's not one fucking record of a Native American defecting and going and living with the colonist. Not one. And there's thousands of European settlers to go live with the Native Americans. That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, because if you have a purpose, if you went, me and you went on a hunt and we provided our women, our family, our tribe with food, how good would you feel?
Yeah.
Like a legitimate human reward.
Yeah.
Not the coffee reward, not the free gift card reward, like a real human reward. You fed your family, the people that you love. That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It doesn't. You cannot get that reward influencing somebody to lose weight online. You just can't. It's not the same fucking reward.
No. Yeah. I get that because
Right.
like
Because you were feeling empty for a second. You were like, what am I doing? and people were telling you how much you changed their lives.
Yeah,
it's like
it
doesn't
doesn't register
associate.
like
Yeah.
that. No,
It doesn't. It's not a
I
real
was
human thing.
I was backstage. I was backstage at the Legion show, and two of these people were talking to me. I was waiting for Todd to tan, and they work for the tanning company. They're new coaches, new like one's a personal trainer, one's trying to become whatever. They're coaches, trainers, and they were asking me like, what did you do? How did you get to this point? Whatever, I'm talking to them about it. And I told them, I said, one thing that I miss about personal training was the human to human connection that I used to get, because now I don't get that anymore.
Right.
Because I've always said, and I will stand by this statement forever, is the best online coaches were people who train people in person.
Yeah, because you understand.
Because you
humans.
understand people have real problems, real life. And it's way more rewarding when you can see on their face what you're doing for them as actually helping them.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I said I missed about personal training. You know, did I miss the 4 a.m. wake ups? No.
Right.
But I did miss just that one-on-one kind of feeling. Like, yeah, I talk to my athletes and clients like all day long, all the time, but like the tone gets lost behind an email. The tone gets lost behind a WhatsApp message, right? I've been sending more voice memos to people now because like,
It seems more
hey dude,
sincere.
this is me. Like you're talking to me, you know, and I don't know. People are appreciating it. So, but it's gone. It doesn't exist. It's something that doesn't exist in my life anymore because I don't see anybody.
It's a job.
It is.
At the end of the day, it's a job.
It is a job.
It
is a job, but it's a job that I enjoy, right? I love what I do. I'll always love what I do, you know. But I think it's just something that I want a little bit back. It's just
Right.
like working with people in person again. It feels good. Like,
Fuck yeah.
you know, pushing somebody through a workout, you know.
If there's no line at like a checkout with a human at like Kroger, instead of going to the self checkout, I always do the human
Just
checkout.
to give some interaction.
Just, I mean, what up? How we doing?
Yeah.
You know, and and there's diminishing returns, right? Because I work retail. So when I work cash, the first 100 people, sure, they're all right. But then 101 comes in and they got a fucking problem while trying to buy weed. And you're like, what's going on? What
do you think that is, dude? Like
It's entitlement. It's
entitlement
a weird,
to what?
I don't
know.
Like to the people that think that they're main character. It's like narcissism.
Oh, main character in your own story kind of thing, right?
And everybody's. They think they're the main character of everybody's story.
But like, where does that entitlement come from? Is it the way they were raised? Like mom and daddy gave them everything they ever wanted, so that they come into the world thinking it's going to be like that.
So I think a lot of stuff that happens to you and how you live the rest of your life happens between the ages of like 6 and 12, I think, because that's when you're molded and then you go out on your own. From at home is like 6 to 12, and then you get sourced from outside because that's when you start becoming more social. Like
That's when you go to high school.
Yes, exactly.
Right, 13, 14, you go to high school.
But you've already have this core of who you are, and then you determine, right? So then now 12, 13 hormones, you start looking at the opposite sex. Well, mommy and daddy always put me on a pedestal. I need somebody to do that. So you start choosing these these paths that all, if you were to look at a graph, sure, it jumps up and down, but I bet it trails in the same way, right? It's the same pattern. So I think that's where it kind of comes from.
Because like, dude,
Because think about who these people are, what they end up with. Because I see a lot of significant others come in, and one person is go, 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 give me your wallet, do this, do that. And the other person's like used to it, right? And it's almost like his path was to find somebody that helped him. Like he needs
that role.
Takes somebody to take over, or she needs somebody to take over, right? It's just like, it seems like these choices, you could lay them out on a graph and it would just trend the same way. It's very hard to all of a sudden see a fucking, a new trend on a graph.
yeah.
It's a lot of self-awareness.
It is, because like I don't know, dude. I hate it when people give like waitresses a hard time,
Holy
waiters, bartenders, like baristas. Like the dude was like punking somebody out because his fucking coffee was 25 minutes late, and I just sat there. They're like, Dominic, are you here? And I was like, yeah, I'm right here. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna make it. I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. Like,
No worries.
even if I have somewhere to be, big fucking deal.
Right, bro.
Like, I'm the one that ordered the fucking coffee. Like, why are you getting so upset?
The best is when they come in, right, to where I work, and they're like, I'll take this. And I'm like, shit, man, we're out of it. I'm sorry. And they're like, what do you mean you're out of it? And I have to bite my tongue every time because I want to be like, I mean, they grew a plant. The plant ran out of the fruit. Everybody before you bought the shit, and now we don't have it. What don't you fucking understand, bro? It's pretty simple. We don't have it, right? Why are you getting mad at me? What the fuck did I do? Or when they come to check in,
like, it's your fault that they don't have it anymore.
dude, you should. It's so fucking bonkers. You need your ID to buy tobacco, right? You need your ID to buy cough syrup now.
Yeah.
Right? You need your ID to buy alcohol.
Like,
people come in
without their IDs.
and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're about to buy a controlled substance, Scheduled 1 controlled substance. It's only state legal. It's federally illegal. I need your fucking ID, bro. What are you talking about? The state wants to know what's going on. And if there's a recall on this medicine that you're
we
claiming,
can call you.
I don't want to give you my number. Okay, you fucking idiot. What's the dispensary going to do with it? We're going to text you and say, hey, we got weed on sale.
Yeah.
And you can say stop at any moment. It's so funny. People are so set up. I don't want to give you my number. I don't want anything on record. Well, I've got your fucking first, middle, last name, your address of your current state. Like, what do you, I got your driver's license the day it expired.
Can Google your number.
Yes, come on, bro. It's so fucking
Are Yellow
funny.
Pages still a thing?
I don't know. But man, so that just reminded me. I had a guy come in. And I'm like, I need your ID. And he's like, all right. So giving me shit already. He's like, I can find so much shit out with your ID. I've been in technology for so long. I can't believe they need this. And I'm like, yeah, man, me either. Right. I'm just not in the mood. I'm like, whatever. I'm scanning it, starting his profile, typing shit in. And then we have this thing that you have to sign, just stating that you're going to follow the legalities of the law and shit so that we're not at fault if you fuck up. But he signs it and then it asks like for your phone number and you don't have to get it. And he goes, oh, I'm not giving you that. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I can't believe they want my phone number. I'm like, we don't. I just put a 1 there and you're good. And he, oh, yeah, because I can find out more with your phone number and your ID than I can with your social security number. I go, oh, then put that down. He's like, no, are you crazy? I go, no, because you know that's a fucking lie. What are you talking about, you crazy asshole? You can't just say stupid shit. Like, there are meanings to the words you're saying, dumb fuck, right? Oh, I could find, then write the social security number down. Because I guarantee you, you're fucking wrong. And you know it. Like, that shit pisses me off so
I need to put a GoPro on you one day.
No, you don't. People would hate me. But it's just, I normally egg stupidity on.
I know you do.
I normally am like, really?
Yeah.
What can I find out with your ID and your phone number?
You were just done with this guy.
Yeah, he was pissing me off.
Oh, man.
Because like anybody that comes in with an ego about weed is so annoying. I need the top of the top. Okay, sure. Here you go. You don't
The
even
top
know,
of the top, and they
Yeah.
don't even know the difference.
They don't
of
know
the
what the
bottom.
fuck they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Like, weed has expanded so much. It's crazy. If THC was the only thing that's important, and for anybody who doesn't know, THC is the psychoactive compound in cannabis. If that was the only important thing, there would be 1 indica, 1 hybrid, 1 sativa, and you got to choose.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why there's different categories of this shit. If I give you a sativa that's 30% and I give you an indica that's 30%, they're going to do different things, right? If I give you Busch Light and I give you a Coors Light, they're both going to be beer,
The same
right?
thing.
But if I give you tequila and I give you red wine,
You're going to know.
they're going to be a difference.
Yeah.
But they both have alcohol, right? So there's 30 different strains on this table at work. You just think that they're for shits and giggles? Like you're missing out on so much shit. And it's funny to me because they have this ego. I need the top of the top.
What is top of the top? Just the
High
one that gets me the
percentage.
highest?
High percentage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even mean that because you can become tolerant to anything. There's terpenes in the flower that they found, and terpenes determine the high. So if I give you that 30% sativa, I can give you a totally other 30% sativa. And if they have different terpenes, they'll give you a different high. One could make you want to go on a hike and go on a walk and like actually do something, clean the house, right? One can make you want to like play video games or read a book, right? Like this old lady came in and she bought some gummies and she was yelling at us because she was up from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. reading her book because that's how into it she got. She's like, I just wanted to read it to go to sleep. She's like, I noticed I was on page like 150 and I looked and I was like, she's like, these things really fucking work.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they do.
But it's like, it's just funny because people are like, I don't care. Just give me whatever. And it's like, all right, bro, it's a weird, they're the equivalent to the, I used to bench 405.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's who they are.
I used to look like that in my day.
Yeah. It exists in every culture. Sneaker fashion culture. I remember when that shit was only $100, $200. Now it's thousands, right? It exists in every fucking culture. Somebody has to tell.
Wait, is that because they're just trying to stay relevant? Or they're trying to connect to it?
It's ego, 100% ego driven. It's like, you need to know who I used to be, right? Because you don't. So we got to change that. Ego is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But it's not always bad.
No, I think it has a place.
It's not always bad. It's not inherently bad. I don't think anything's inherently bad. I think humans are the.
No, I think the way we use it ends up being good or bad. But then I think that's just that ends up being the personality, right? Well, narcissistic, like all that kind of forms from that.
Yeah, but I would say that's just like human instinct too. From because we're an animal, right? So it's like in us to like collect, to hoard, to have wealth, to do this. It has to be, right? Look at it around.
Yeah.
So like there's something innate there. There's something that like we can't stop.
It's just programmed.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's crazy. And it's probably mostly for like mating reasons, sexual reasons, spreading your genetics, right? Because the nice clothes will make me look more attractive. The this, the that. And it's like subconscious. You can't stop it, right? You just assume almost. And then once you're in it, you're like, this shirt's the same as the other shirt I got, but the brand on it says all this, right? And I mean, you and I both like nice things.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging anybody. I think it's an innate thing. I had to unfollow all the designers that I follow because they're going to start dropping winter stuff and Christmas stuff. And I'm not doing it. They're not getting me this winter. You got me last winter like crazy. You're not getting me this winter. So I had to stop. I had to unfollow them. But I know that's my problem, right? But recognize the problem and stop.
Yeah, but why do you think that was a problem?
Spending money on clothes is silly. In the grand scheme of things.
You could argue that about anything.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But
I don't think it's silly if it's something that you thoroughly enjoy. There's people who really love fashion.
Right.
I don't think that's not, I do think you enjoy fashion.
And I'm not saying it again as like a judgment.
No, I know you're not.
I'm saying it where I'm at financially. I don't need to be buying clothes.
Okay.
To me, it's silly.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yes,
okay,
yes. I'm sorry if I worded that wrong. Yeah. It's not silly. If you want to do it. If you want to do it, do it.
No. That makes sense then.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
That makes sense.
No, I'm not.
Because I was like, you like these things.
I love them.
I think forcing yourself to not do something you enjoy makes you really resentful. And I was doing that for a while.
It definitely can.
I was doing that for a while, and I just felt like shit because of it. And then now I kind of like have the attention thing. We talked about it. For so long, I kept just saying, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
And now I'm like, after I talked to you about it that one day, you're like, dude, you enjoy it. Just accept it. And after that, I just let it happen. And I feel way better. And I notice one thing too now, I don't strive for it as much.
Right. Because like that's the drug.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'll save it. Or okay, I'll do it when I feel like doing it.
Yeah.
It's like when you recognize that hook, if you have any kind of self-control, it's almost delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
That's in your hands.
Yes. Isn't it wild?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the mushroom test? Or I'm sorry. We're talking about marshmallow. The marshmallow test.
No.
I think we've talked about it. The I give you a marshmallow. If you wait 2 minutes, I'll double it.
Yeah.
All right. That is like an innate IQ test. My buddy like said he was going to refuse giving it to his kid because he's so terrified of what his kid might say.
What is it again?
It's delayed gratification.
So like,
I'm going to give you this marshmallow.
okay. If I take it and eat it,
You can take it and eat it right now. But if
Okay.
you wait 5 minutes, I'll give you another marshmallow. And if you wait 5 more minutes, I'll give you another marshmallow. And if you wait 5, right, I just keep going.
so it's bad if you wait.
No, it's great if you wait
Oh,
because you
it's-
get more.
Oh,
It's
okay, I get what
delayed
you're saying.
gratification,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's shown that the kid that waits, even if it's just one extra, he will have a higher IQ. Just innate. He will be
Because he's just like
Yes.
he processed already that
Because
like
the-
wait, if I could wait a couple more minutes, I can get a second one.
think of the best things, man.
Yeah.
The best things in life take delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Anything anybody wants normally takes delayed gratification. Stepping on stage is the definition of delayed
Yeah, that's
gratification,
a good point.
right? All these things, like
Sorry,
starting
somebody competing.
starting a successful business, right? I have to put all this footwork in so that later I can have it on cruise control. Delayed gratification, right? Almost everything requires that. So if you're the person that just goes, given there's how many multi-millionaire billionaires that are probably like that, right? I'm not saying that you're dumb or anything. It's just it's a totally different way of living.
Yeah.
Totally different way of living. So and innately, apparently, like it's an IQ test. Like, and I see it every day at work because we have a reward. If you get 150 points, you get $5 off. But if you use it, it goes back to 0. If you get to 300, you get $25 off.
Oh my God. Why?
Right.
Why wouldn't anybody?
5 times the savings. And people are like, nah, I'll use the $5 right now. What? You know how many times you've used $5? You've used it 4 times.
And you would have had over 600 points at that point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I see it every single day and it drives me nuts.
That's like these, right? I order these. I work at Starbucks. I don't work at Starbucks. I work at a.
That would be fucking hilarious.
I work at a Starbucks table.
Right.
I have. Do you know how many points I have? I have
Jesus.
almost 1,300 stars.
Right.
I could buy free coffee pots right now. I never use rewards.
No.
I let those things stack up.
That's how I do it at work.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I can't use them. They have a fucked up rule. You can't use them with your employee discount, your loyalty. So that's the day that like I negate my like employee discount so that I can use them, but I cash them out.
Yeah,
I find a
just
day
use
that
them all.
everything's already 25 or 30% off,
And then
that's
you
what I
put it on
grab.
top?
Yep, and then because it can get up to $70 off. And that's when I hit them. Bah! Get it. Or you can if you have enough points, you can use multiple $25 off. And these motherfuckers want to use 5 today.
What is it like? Spend $1, get a point.
Yep.
Like 1-to-1.
Subtotal equals points. Yep.
That's
I mean,
nice.
Yeah, it's a great
That's
reward
a great reward
system.
system. Usually it's like half a point.
What's
or like,
hilarious is it's $25 or a shirt. And some people are like, I'll take the shirt. I'm like, no, you will not. You will not take a fucking shirt for this company. Get free weed. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's I'm like, you're going to give this company free advertisement from points that you already had to spend money on? That's not a free shirt. Get the free weed, bro. Get the free weed. And they're always like, yeah, okay, that's fair. Because it's $25 eighths. So it's a whole eighth for free. Or a shirt. Get the fuck out of here. You're going to rep somebody else's dispensary. I'm going to say it right now. If you rock cookies, have you ever seen those people rocking cookies?
They're everywhere.
Oh my God, you are such a dick rider. No real smoker looks at cookies like the brand, right? Like, and
I think it's just became a label.
it's 100%. It's a brand.
Yeah.
It's a fucking like a hype beast brand.
It
There's
is, dude. They
dudes-
sell it at some of these hype beast stores around here.
Yeah, and it's cookie sweatsuits, and you look like the Cookie Monster, you dummy. Like it just, Don't do that. Don't rep somebody else's dispensary. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't grow good weed. They don't care about you. They just don't. If you want to do something like that, go to somebody like Oswell. My homies own Oswell out in Traverse City and Adrian. Oswell and their grow is Archive Labs and Archive Cultivation. They give a fuck. They started like me. They were caregivers and blew the fuck up. And now they got the dopest grow in Michigan. In my opinion, they make the best shit because they care.
Yeah.
They actually give a fuck. And it's so awesome. They're not in it for the money. They give a fuck about the plant, and then the money came. It's like the same recipe for all these successful people,
yeah,
bro.
I've always, like, we always say, like, to the younger coaches that we help, younger, like I'm old.
You're 30, bro.
You fuck off. We say prioritize helping the person, the money just comes.
Right.
Think of a way to help people and money just comes.
Who are you going to recommend? The person that actually helped you or the person you knew was out for money?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to tell you to go to somebody who I was like, man, I think he was just copying my diet from other people's diet. Whereas I'm like, no, I've seen 20 of your diets and not one of them is the fucking same. Unless it's like that crew where somebody tries pasta and now 40 of them.
Different.
Right.
They all ask for it.
100%.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, wait, I don't have to eat 3 pounds of potatoes. He still texted me. He texted me this extravagant ass dinner the other night. I'm like, what? And he's like, it's so nice being home. He's been in like Cali shooting and
LA
shit.
forever.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're killing it right now, which is sick.
Yeah.
The Armed is killing it too. Did you know The Armed has a remix song with
Dexter?
Yeah, with Dexter. I forget his name, but it's like something. The Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum is his band, and they made a remix of a song called Ketamine, and like.
Isn't his name Morgan? No, Morgan. Dexter Morgan.
No, it's something.
I forgot his name.
I forgot it too, but I mean, how fucking dope. How
cool.
fucking dope. What is life, bro? It's so surreal. It's such an experience. And like, I don't know. I've been so into the experience of life lately. Because like, how can't you be?
You
right?
have to be.
Sadness is a part of it. Depression is a part of it. You know, it's just a part of this experience, bro. It's just like, intake it, because that depressive day makes this one that much better. This beautiful sunshiny day, I get to sit and talk to you, get to go lift after this. Like, I'm in good health. I got money in my bank account. There's gas in the car. What the fuck is wrong, bro? Right?
Yeah.
I could think of something right now that'd make me depressed though.
Yeah.
100%. But like, it's almost like you have to invite that in. You have to let it come. You have to deal with it, feel it, move on, or realize that it's there. Right? Realize that you are prone to those bad days. And then the good days come. You can't act like they don't.
What the saying is, never regret a bad day. Bad days bring experiences, or something like that. Hang on.
Don't look it up. You're going to start static.
Okay, hang on. I'll hide it.
If static starts right now,
It's my fault.
it's the phone. Well, mine's on airplane mode.
Oh, so I posted something about like coaching and like whatever. And then at the bottom of it, I said, never regret a day in your life. Good days bring happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. Best days give memories.
That's good for sure.
That's like the whole experience of life.
Yep. The human experience right there.
You're going to have every single one of them.
Yeah.
You're going to learn shit. You're going to experience things. You're going to have memories. How often are you constantly recalling a memory of something extremely bad? Not that often. Right. You're thinking of your best memories usually. So I don't know. I think it's good. It is good.
So how about this?
And bad doesn't mean depressed.
No,
bad
right.
could be angry. Bad could be something at work went the wrong way. Like, it doesn't have to be like
you
that
just said
dark.
two like interesting things, right? So one, like, depressed isn't like, it's not a bad day isn't depressed, right? Why is depression this big umbrella now? Why is somebody who's clearly grieving depressed? We know they're grieving, right? Grief is like an actual feeling.
I think a lot of that shit came from like the people who just like, oh, I'm so depressed today. Like, you're not.
Right. But did that come pharmaceutically? Because if you're grieving, they will give you an antidepressant, knowing that you're grieving. But back in the day, they would just be like, of course you're grieving. Your dad just died.
Yeah.
You don't need an antidepressant.
It could be.
You could get over it.
I think a lot of it though is culture. It's just the way people talk, dude. Like,
So-
dude, I was at like, oh my god, I was at like, listen, I'm very close to people who have real anxiety,
100%.
real anxiety,
Yeah.
and I know it irks them at times because like I was sitting at a restaurant one day, like a restaurant where like you walk up and order your food,
Right.
like you walk up to the counter, you order your food, you go sit down, they bring it over to you, like a Panera style
Gotcha.
thing, right? And the place was dead. Like there was barely anybody in it. These people walk up, and one girl was like I could just the tone, the way she said it, I wanted to be like, no, it does. Like she was like, oh, this place gives me so much anxiety, and I was like,
Oh,
dude, you don't even know what anxiety is like.
right. You're just saying a word.
You're just saying a word, right? And I think it's that culture that's really umbrellaed the word anxiety, the word depression,
Yeah.
because they've never felt real in their entire life.
Right.
You know,
You're sad. Sad is a different feeling from
you're
depressed.
sad, or you're just talking like an asshole.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're at a restaurant that requires you to scan a QR code, and that's giving you anxiety.
right.
In the tone you said it, like maybe it does, I don't know, but the tone she said it in was so like sarcastic,
Nonchalant and-
like
yeah.
it was just like it was gross, and I wanted to be like,
Like, people can see through your bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There
You
is
know?
that for sure. And it's hard because like, how do you make that call? Because you don't know.
No, I don't know.
Right. It's
But
fucked.
It was. I don't know. One, because I feel like more people are comfortable talking about mental health now, so maybe
100%.
she was being open about it. But context-wise, context clues, tone, the delivery, the people she was with, the way they responded to that, it sounded like it was just some bullshit.
like
she was
just
saying.
another word she was
Yeah,
saying.
just another word in her vocabulary.
Right.
You know, and I think that's where that umbrella is happening.
That makes it's like words have lost meaning, right?
Yeah.
Like awesome. We say awesome for whatever. Awesome doesn't
Yeah.
even, but awesome means like awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
When you see something awesome, it's like seeing God come down from the clouds.
Yeah,
And
like
now
your
we use
jaw's
that-
supposed to drop.
Yeah, and you gave me a coffee. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like that wasn't awe-inspiring, but that's the word
It's
we
just-
might use.
I think that's just time and how we've taken words and use them
Yeah.
just in everyday
I
life.
agree. I agree. There's something to that
I
for
think,
sure.
and
It's
then
like,
I think
relax.
medication too. The medication push is a huge thing, right?
I wonder.
I made a post about women getting their testosterone checked, and it got shared a bunch and tagged a bunch, whatever. A lot of people were sharing it, saving it. It got a lot of good feedback. And I talked about how women need to get their testosterone checked because, yes, it's not their primary sex hormone, but it's a very important sex hormone to them. And testosterone, some of its main roles, aside from growing muscle, whatever, is neurotransmission activity. Increased dopamine, increases receptors for serotonin, helps with choline balancing, and then it helps with GABA as well in a good way, right? A healthy level of testosterone, you have healthy neurotransmission activity of those.
Right. You're not talking superhuman levels.
No,
Right.
just normal.
Just normal levels.
And one of the things that Austin Stout had taught through a video I watched, he's just a really phenomenal functional health coach. He had taught that an SSRI is the worst thing to give a guy with low testosterone because he doesn't have the symptoms of what clinical depression and anxiety looks like. He really just has symptoms of low testosterone.
Low T.
And giving him testosterone would make most, if not all of those, go away, and he wouldn't even need the SSRI. And I'm seeing this with women getting blood work done, low testosterone scores, like in the 10s and the 12s, like, under 30, right? And
What's the optimal level for female?
40 to 60, I would say, is like pretty solid. Like they're going to feel good. They're going to function good,
That's such a difference
Yeah.
between men.
isn't it?
40 to 60.
And we're looking for like an 800 to 1,000.
Right.
But anyways, so like, And then I'm noticing the ones that the women that are experiencing more anxiety, more depression, we get blood work done, and they always have a hormonal imbalance. They have low testosterone, or they have high estrogen, low progesterone. They have some sort of issue going on with their hormones. As we start fixing it, it like slowly just disappears. So I was talking about that. Anecdotally.
Right.
I didn't even state a study. I didn't tell nobody to go get fucking meds. I didn't tell anybody to do anything. Some girl comments on it. Where did you go get board certified? What doctor, what medical school did you go to? One of my friends commented back and was like, it's Instagram, not the public health fucking whatever. Like, he got annoyed. And then I was like, okay, I read it, let it marinate for a little bit. And then I responded. And I was like, dude, I didn't give any medical advice.
Right.
I said, go get your testosterone checked.
Right.
Is that medical advice? No, I don't think so. It's like going and getting a physical. If you told me to go get a physical, are you giving me medical advice?
Oh, right.
So I told her that, and then I said, I do have a master's in physiology, so I am on par of talking with these topics. Right. And then I said, to her, I said, I spoke on anecdotal things, right? My friend felt this way. We did this, that happened. I didn't say it was a study. I didn't say to stop your meds. I didn't say any of that. I said, this could be a reason why you might be feeling a certain way.
Right.
I was telling you to just go get your shit checked.
Right.
So somebody comments back and goes, that's like telling a person that they're not a lawyer if they explain to you that you could go to jail for speeding.
Right.
Like because I was like,
that's great.
I was like, I listed symptoms of low testosterone that you could have Googled. And I was like, man, like, what did I do to get your panties in a bunch like that?
It's
and then she blocked me. I didn't even respond yet. She blocked me after she commented.
Oh, she just wanted to leave a
mic
drop.
So then I had Dina like search her name.
Right.
She doesn't. I don't know. She doesn't follow nobody. Whatever. But she was an OB/GYN doctor.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, this is starting to make more sense, right? She's getting upset. I'm talking about females and hormones and whatever. So she wants to jab me with, where'd you go to med school?
Right.
Right? Because that's fucking great now, right? I'm fixing problems with doctors at this point.
Well, how about my endocrinologist?
Yeah, I had to explain to them in your room, like, what was going on. And they were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
can I take a picture of that?
Yeah.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
But like, I don't knock doctors. My wife's a nurse practitioner.
Right.
Like, I understand what medicine. And I wasn't jabbing doctors.
No.
But these are things doctors aren't taught.
And it's not that they're not taught. They don't have the time either to continue education for that. They're not going to go home after seeing 30 patients in a day and sit down and learn the new ins and outs of testosterone,
and they
bro.
shouldn't.
No, fuck no.
No, they shouldn't.
No, they need somebody else to come in and educate them on
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And like, we were talking about, I had another client who's an older woman, and she has like low testosterone, low progesterone. She's like pretty much going through menopause at this point. Doctor's like, yeah, we'll just put you on birth control and it's going to help all of your symptoms. And I was like, absolutely not.
Right.
Like, I was like, so then I started explaining all these things, and she's like, I trust you more than my doctors now. And I was like, listen, I'm not your doctor. Do what makes you feel comfortable, but I'm telling you, I've worked with enough women now that those situations end up getting worse when they just do what they're told.
Right.
And now we're getting the necessary stuff done, and she feels better. But it's crazy that like, it's just like,
it is crazy. But again,
I don't like that shit. Like, where'd you go to school?
Yeah.
But you're not a doctor.
That's almost like in every culture, right?
But
think about how many trainers go, where are your certifications, right? When they see somebody else training somebody that doesn't have a cert, because that's their one thing above them.
Why? That's back to that.
Actually board certified, so fuck you.
That's that entitlement,
right? 100%. It's narcissism. It's, I had to go through it.
I had to go through it. You didn't.
Yep.
You're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff.
I mean,
and what's hilarious is like, I have doctor friends who will sit at this table and tell you I know more than them.
100%, especially on
and
certain
like
things.
and one of my friends commented, who is a doctor, and was like, said something along the lines like, he's one of the most brilliant guys I know.
Right.
And I am a doctor.
Easy always loved hearing your thoughts on shit, and he's in med school right now. And I know he thinks that you're intelligent on this shit.
And
he loved when I was like,
and it's not
this
like,
is what I'm doing. And he's like,
yeah,
okay.
But it's not like I play doctor.
Right.
I don't play doctor, right?
But that was a very like malicious like
it was so
assumption
it was so,
of who she thought you were.
Well, it was so like just it was so gross the way she did it, because like my post was literally there to help people get some what is it, like bring awareness to something, and she just like wanted to shit on it.
Yeah,
because she doesn't post anything like that. Like, that's not my problem.
So you know, there's like a little thing with, if you ask on your Facebook status like what is 2 + 2, you will get less people to respond and help you that say 4 than if you post 2 + 2 = 6, because more people will comment to correct you.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Because people want to come out on top. They want to be the one.
That was her way of coming up on top, is like, I know I'm actually certified. I'm just going to hold it over your head because I can. It's the Spirit Airlines lady. I told you that story, right?
Yeah.
Step behind the line and I was like 1 foot over. I was like, okay, thank you. Like, imagine that person with a gun and she's a cop. She said, get out of the car. And you're like, what? Get the fuck out of the car, right? That's that person. That person exists fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
They just do. And it could be a doctor. It could be a doctor that says, don't go get stem cells in your shoulder. Let me cut you open and give you surgery. What? But dude, this shot might work. Nope. There's not enough studies on that.
Yeah.
Well, come on, man. Like, it exists everywhere. The human ego is fucking weird.
It's everywhere, and it's pretty annoying.
But you said something though about your memories, or you remember the good times, right? Your post, your list. So when you were saying that, something popped in my head, right? I don't remember a phone number for shit because I have them all stored, right? What if we no longer remember good memories because they're all pictures? They're all videos. Every good memory, every good interaction now is a video or a picture. So you don't actually remember it.
You could just refer.
You just look at the memory of when you think you were there.
Yeah.
What if, I mean, this is something that just came to my head because it makes sense.
That's like life now, dude.
Right.
I mean, the last vacation we just went on, like, I didn't even try. We'd go down, we'd leave the hotel room, I'd throw my phone in her beach bag, and I literally wouldn't pick it up until because like people are more on vacation trying to take pictures
Just
of videos
stunting on
of
people.
everything.
Yeah.
And like we just wanted to enjoy and chill and whatever. But like I don't know. I remember that vacation probably a lot better than I do other vacations because we were just so focused on taking pictures all the time.
I remember it was at a show that we went to, and I was just with you, and Jay Cutler was there, remember?
Yeah.
I was standing with Darnell in the back, and him and I were just leaning up against the table, and somebody comes up, who do you think's gonna win? And we turn around, it's fucking Jay Cutler. And I was like, holy shit. And we just started talking. I was like, I think so-and-so is gonna win, yada, yada, yada. We started talking about the Olympia.
But you didn't take a picture with him.
I didn't take a picture.
But you talked to him.
Yeah, and he asked, he goes, do you want to take a picture? I was like, fuck no. I was like, this is great, dude. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And like, he was so cool. Like when I was walking, he was like, hey, have a good day. Like just like a genuine interaction. Cause how many of those do you think he has now? Especially in this world, in the fitness industry, everything's about like, look at who I was with.
Yeah.
Look at who I'm here with. Look at, it's piggybacking off of each other now. Cause if Jay shares it, I might get a couple followers, right? I could have taken a picture and tagged them.
Dude, I'm waiting for the day. I was thinking about this last night. I'm waiting for the day Instagram allows you to turn off how many followers you have. They already did it with likes.
Nobody will ever do that.
They already did it with likes.
I saw something that they're thinking about.
Why do you think they did it with likes?
I once thought it was to take the focus off of it, but I now think of something that you said where like they can't check now. So I can post whatever and nobody can judge me off of the numbers.
Yeah.
So I can hide it from the masses. Even if I get 13, like you would have to click and check and scroll and count.
Yeah.
Right. So now I can hide it. I can post whatever. Cause it used to say like
How many people?
1 through 50, or then like this through 100 kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? It was like a goal to get to that one number. Now it seems like you can just hide it and post whatever. And then it's like, oh, you don't know, right? It could have done good. It could have done bad.
Yeah.
You got me into that space, and I was thinking about that. But the follower one, I don't think will ever happen because people have their worth based on the followers.
Oh, that's true. Like,
How many people thank 10,000 people once that number crosses?
yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every fucking one of them. I was gonna pick a random number and do it just the other day because I saw somebody do it. It's like, it's so silly. They don't care. Thank you for 10,000 followers. What do you think? I'm reading your story going like, fuck yeah, thank you. Thank you. You've influenced me. Who was it? I saw somebody say, oh, it was Ryan. He goes, it seems like a lot of you are just influencing people to use your code.
Yeah.
Is that what influencer means?
I think so.
I think that's what it really means. I think we've been lied to.
I mean, what's the main goal of an influencer now? It's to get sponsored.
No. It's to influence you to lose weight. It's to influence you to be a better you.
It's to get a
While
sponsored.
wearing this. Okay.
Yeah, while wearing that.
Did
piece
you
of
see
clothing.
Goob gave me the nod?
No.
He commented on the influencer division in the IFBB
Oh.
and the NBC. He goes, amazing. Because he's doing, I don't follow him. So after that, he shot me a follow. I followed him back. And he's doing the shitfluencer, like
Awards.
that's pretty funny. That's gonna be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like how he goes so hard at people. To me, it's like whatever. I've talked to you about it. Do you? Okay. But like the awards, I'm gonna tune into.
Yeah.
I'm gonna for sure tune into.
It'll be good. He does a podcast with Ryan now,
That's dope.
twice a month.
That's cool.
They kind of recap like all the stuff going on or whatever.
In the industry?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. I'll definitely give that a listen because I have no idea what's going on. You guys send videos in the chat, and I'm like, I don't know who either of these people are. And then I saw a post. It was like bodybuilding drama used to be like, I look better than you, but it was politics. And now it's so-and-so slept with so-and-so. And now this brand is ending because of this. And this gym is open. And I just started laughing because that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
soap opera.
There was a bunch of shit that happened recently with Laura Lee of bikini. She took second at the Olympia. Dude, I gotta send you all these because it's long. But like, she tried to like, I don't know. It's he said, she said right now, so we don't know. But her old coach came out and said like she tried to extort me for $50K, like all this stuff. And she was coming out and saying like, he didn't prep me for the Olympia. He didn't prep me for the Arnold. He makes a video, pulls out his phone, and he's like, look at the check-in date. It's the day before the Olympia. And I was like, oh my God.
Hey, keep those receipts, baby. Keep those
Dude,
receipts.
And then like, what else? Her boyfriend is fucking nuts, and I don't know. But his video was like 50 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing. Because he's arguably the best bikini coach in the world.
Who is it?
James Atlas.
Oh, Atlas?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people did he have go pro that? Was it him? Or
At
was
one
it?
show, like
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
He was trying to go for 10. Like,
That's incredible.
yeah,
That is incredible.
he's arguably the best bikini coach right now. And he coached Laura Lee, who's won the Arnold, second place Olympia, third place Olympia, like, you know, top
Up
tier
there, up
athlete,
there.
right? And there was just a bunch of drama leading up to the Arnold and the Olympia. Her boyfriend made shirts that on the back said, Laura Lee prepped herself for this Olympia. Laura Lee prepped herself for this Arnold, trying to sell it. And I was like, that's so gross. That's disgusting. Like, and then he makes this video and he's like, here's the check-ins.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't check in the day before the Olympia, but took a picture with him backstage and then came out and was like, came out and said something like, I'm not giving you credit for this Olympia unless you pay me like X amount of dollars or something like that. She's like, I've gotten you this many referrals at your rate and finder's fee is this much. You owe me $43,700. And he was like, no, you owe me probably 50 grand from like hotels I've put you up in, travel, blah, 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 blah. And then he like went and like showed their text messages and was like, here's your check-in 2 days out from the Olympia. I didn't coach you though, right?
For everybody that wants Olympian athletes, keep this in mind.
Dude.
Keep this in mind. This is like, they're human too.
Yeah,
They're not robots, man. They're not fucking robots.
Yeah. I mean,
Everybody has shit to deal with.
I work with a decent amount of pros now, but like in the beginning, it was just pros that I was close to. Now I'm meeting pros that I have no idea who they are, right? And now it's starting to like, now you start hearing more between other coaches and stuff, and I'm like, damn, like you would have thought these pros had their shit together, and it's like the complete opposite. Like from what my friends have told me, at least. Like I haven't experienced that yet, but it's crazy.
It is nuts, man. It is nuts.
Because they're supposed to be the upper echelon, right? The top of the top. How'd they get there, right? Some just showed up on the right day.
Yes, dude. Yes, we know that all too well.
You know?
We know that all
Some
too
just
well.
showed out.
I mean, you know, it's nothing against them either. That's a part of the sport. If you show up on the right day at the right time,
Yeah.
that, you know, I can't control if you didn't prep correctly, if you didn't pay a coach to do it. I know this one guy actually came into shop or to the store, and he was talking to me. He's prepped himself for like 2 shows, and I'm like, "Do you have a coach?" And he's like, "No, I prep myself." I'm like, "Damn, that's what's up." I'm like, "Do you ever think about a coach?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of." And he told me this one guy, and he goes, "Yeah," he said that everybody like wants to work with him, and that like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, "Do you have a picture of him?" Because I've never heard of him. And he's like, "You've never heard of him?" I was like, "I've never heard of this guy." And he's like, "All right," showed me a picture. I'm like, "I've never heard of this guy." And he's like, "Damn, okay." And I was like,
Michigan guy?
"Yeah." And I know, and I was like,
The coach is a Michigan guy?
"Yeah." And I was like, "Here, look up this guy." And I put your Instagram down, and I was like, "Just take that home and look that up." And he's like, "Okay, for sure. I appreciate you, man." And he's like a manager of an Edge in like Farmington or Novi or something.
Oh, okay.
So like he lives the life.
Yeah.
You know? And if you've prepped yourself for 2 shows, having somebody like tell you what to do is like the best thing in the fucking world.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
It's funny. It's so funny. People hyping up their worth. What do you think people like embellishing?
Sorry, I'm just answering my athlete.
You're good. What do you think like leads to people like embellishing to somebody that they already know? Like if I were to tell you a story and embellish it and make me try to sound cooler, why would I do that to you?
I don't know. Just maybe to try to stay on par. Maybe you look up to me and you're like, okay, I have to fluff it up a little bit.
I never thought of it
Jansen
like that.
was talking about this one time, and I responded to it, and we talked a little bit about it, and I was like, I think people look at it like I'm smart, so you have to act smart, right? But in reality, if you're actually really, really smart, you should be able to have the easiest conversation ever, right? I've always said you don't understand something until you can explain it to the person who's never even heard of it in the simplest way, and they'll understand it after. That's when you're really smart.
Yeah, that's when you're
because like we say things like we see bodybuilding coaches do it all the time. We're collecting data, biofeedback. Shut the fuck up, dude. like I say it every once in a while, but like these people are like data.
Please make this your real, okay? Please make this your real.
But like I've said biofeedback, right? But it's got to be in the context of the conversation.
Right.
If I'm talking to my athlete who's getting on stage, I'm not sitting there and being like,
your biofeedback.
You know, your biofeedback and the data we collected today, like, no, dude, the way shit panned out today, like, I liked it. I liked how some things reacted. Let's do it tomorrow. I'm not sitting there being like all fancy smanchy, right? It has its place. It has the table. Who I'm sitting with, that's when you talk like that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what these guys don't do.
Yeah.
And the ones that try to do it to me or other guys, right? They do it to, you know, some of my friends that are coaches. You're just trying to think you need to talk to us on this level, but you don't need to.
Right.
You don't need to. We could talk, bro. You don't have to tell me like the anterior tibialis. Like, no, dude, just say the front of the fucking leg. Like
front delt, bro. Front delt. It's okay.
You know, but people like to fluff up to sound smart. But I truly believe if you're really smart, you don't need to fluff up anything because you should be able to just deliver it.
See right here? We make this grow.
Yeah, like that's it.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That's a good observation though, because it drives me crazy when like I know somebody in real life, and like I know of them like what they do or something, and then like I see like a video or a post, and I'm like, I know you've talked about this, but it's like, yo, like we know you in real life.
Oh, and it's just
Yeah, what are you
fake,
talking
yeah.
about? You're gonna have to see real people again.
Mm-hmm.
How? What gave you the gall?
I'll never understand, dude, why people still edit prep pictures. Like in 5 weeks, we are going to be able to go to npcnewsonline.com, search your name, and see your stage pictures. Why do you edit pictures leading into your show? It's horrible. It's so bad. For
That's
what?
because-
A following? For likes? Like,
Yeah, 100%. Because it doesn't matter what.
work
you
harder
place.
and just look like that, so you don't have to edit it.
That's too hard. Winning doesn't matter anymore.
You know what Cam said to me the other day? There's 7 billion people in the world. If you don't want to work hard enough, somebody else is going to do it.
Oh yeah, for fucking sure.
Like-
There's almost 8 billion now.
Like, there's enough people. Like, if you don't want to do the work, there's somebody that's going to do it. So just do it. Like, why do you have to edit? Why do you have to do that shit? It's annoying.
You normally find out on show day that
fuck
somebody
yeah, you
was
do.
there doing the work.
Like, one of my athletes competing in a couple of weeks was like, I'm nervous. And I was like, well, it's normal, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, accept the fact that you're nervous. Don't try to fight it back, right? Be like, it's okay to be nervous, right? But use that nervousness right now to control everything you have control over. Make sure you're practicing your posing. Make sure you're doing your cardio with effort, not walking with your head down, right? Make sure you're training. Make sure you're prioritizing sleep, whatever. Control all the things you can control. Because on show day, you're going to feel pretty confident because you're like, damn, I did everything I needed to do. If somebody shows up that's better than me, I can't control that.
Right. Yeah. It's the controllables.
Yeah, you control controllables, and like that was Todd. Like we went into this, and he had a lot of doubts about his physique, hanging with big boys in the open, and I was like, dude, you belong, man. Like whatever, you know. And you know, the more and more after that guest posing with Jordan, standing next to him, that's when I think his confidence really picked up because he was like, damn, I really can stand next to these guys. Whatever. Fast forward, we get to the show, and I'm like, dude, enjoy the day. It's your open debut. He was like, I could tell he was fighting his nerves, and I was like, dude, it's okay to be nervous. Don't fight it, because the more you fight it, the more you're going to stress yourself out. Don't keep telling yourself you're okay. Just let it flow, and you'll realize everything's going to be fine. And he did that. Like Friday, he was extremely nervous, right? Blew through his posing really fast, didn't hold things, shook and stumbled a little bit, right? But you could tell that was nervousness that he was trying to just like keep down.
Deal with in a
Yeah.
way.
And he looked good Friday. I was happy with his look. But I told him on Wednesday, I said, you're going to look your best on Sunday.
Right. After.
And he said, why? And I said, they compete Masters Pros Friday, Open Pro is Sunday. I said, you're going to look your best when you compete in the Open. And he's like, why? I said, I just know, you know, the nervousness of getting on the pro stage for the first time, all that stuff is going to have a big effect on you. And I think we'll be like 95%, right? And he looked good Friday.
He did.
But he looked damn fucking better on Sunday.
He looked crazy on Sunday.
He looked like a open pro bodybuilder on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it was, I just kept telling him, enjoy it, dude. Like we did everything we were supposed to do. Like you can't control that Justin Rodriguez signed up for the show.
Right.
Like what are you supposed to do about that?
Right.
Pose, whatever, do all that and have fun. He enjoyed it, right? I think he was a little bummed. Like he ended up, I think 9th, but I was like, it was your open pro debut. You did Legion, which is a tier 3 show, meaning it's not the lowest pro show. You competed against guys who've competed at the Olympia. Right. You beat some guys that, they were a little bit on the older end, but they competed at the Olympia back in the day. Like, you hung with a really good group. Like, you should be happy about that. And we waited till after the show, got his feedback from Tyler Mannion, the head judge of the NPC IFBB. And he's like, he literally told him right in front of my face. He's like, get bigger arms, which is fucking wild, right? Like his arms are huge.
Arms are huge.
Get bigger arms, bigger legs, and more depth to your back. And then he was like, you belonged up there. And
That's
after
sick.
that, dude, he was just like
Riding that high.
ready
for
to go.
Sure.
And I was like, you should definitely the dude who judges, who wins the fucking Olympia, told you belong up there.
Right.
Like, take that and go with it, because that's huge.
That's the off-season motivation now.
Dude, Fawad was talking about him on the podcast.
Right. That's sick.
Yeah, they watched it live, and Fawad was like, "Man, this guy's
Look at that.
conditioning is just crazy."
Fuad took our idea. That motherfucker.
Yeah,
Live streaming shows.
live. He does it all the time.
No, he doesn't. He just started after we mentioned that. No, that's cool as fuck though. That would be the best feedback. Is
Yeah.
you belong up there, and actually having some criticism, bigger legs, bigger arms,
and that,
more
yeah.
depth. Cool.
The arm thing I could see, like when he does his most muscular. You know, when you touch your arm like this, it don't look big.
No,
He's got 21-inch arms, like, and it looks tiny.
I always.
He's got to have like 24-inch arms for this to look big.
You know when Dorian does the half lat flex like that, to be as big as Dorian in that pose is so freakish, because anybody else I've ever seen that do
Looks
that
tiny.
pose looks like why are you? They look like this.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing that right now? You're exposing yourself.
Yeah, like with Todd's most muscular, that exposes his arm size. His
Right.
arms are really big in a back double and a side chest. But once he gets
Because
into
he did hands on hip.
he did one hand on hip and one hand across like
Okay.
that, which looks great. It looks
Yeah.
pretty crazy, but he just needs bigger arms. Most muscular is by far one of the hardest poses. To like be like fully muscular in is really hard.
Yeah.
You got to be fucking huge. Most musculars look so stupid until you're 220 pounds on stage.
Fuck you, buddy. I love my most muscular. That's the only one I got.
Like when I did this on my stage, I was like, what am I even doing? I'm like 160 pounds.
Right, yeah. They call that the barely muscular.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's nuts. I love when they do actually stand next to somebody, though, right? Because like on your own,
Yeah.
in every picture you look big
Todd's the dude that does not look big by himself.
until standing next to
Until
somebody.
he stands next to people, that's when he like comes to life. I don't know
Right.
what it is. And a lot of people are just the opposite.
Yeah.
A lot of people look great by themselves. You put them next to somebody and it's like, what the fuck?
What happened?
Yeah.
That's I imagine that's a lot of like angles though. A lot of angles and lighting, because like
Yeah.
I can make it look sweet and make it look like I'm fucking 300 pounds, and then because I have that one picture where I remember the Albert Einstein bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
There's the picture of me and then Arnold doing the most muscular, and like arguably look good. I'm 174 pounds. Arnold's like 240 doing it. There's a big difference. But those side to sides never show.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a way different
You're
picture.
not physically standing
Yeah.
there.
If I stood next to Arnold, I would look like a baby. I would look like a fucking baby, you know? Like it doesn't make sense. But that's the illusion. That's the hype on Instagram. Do you think people like follow somebody and then they see them compete and then they get like 17th and they're like, should I follow this guy? Am I better than him? Right? Do you ever think that happens? Do you think people get disappointed in who they follow? Or do you think like
know.
I would? But do you think like, because like if I'm here hyping you up, like hypertrophy coach,
Yeah.
when he competed, Boston Lloyd was like, that's the dumbest fucking thing you can do for your brand because you're exposing who you really are. He came in like 15th place at nationals.
Yeah.
How much do you really know, bro? You're telling me about how to build arms and your arms are the size of the Starbucks cup, right? And that's just a real deal Holyfield. That's reality.
Dude, Boston was, a lot of people didn't like him, but
He's a motherfucker, dude.
He was,
Boston, Rich Piana, and who's another shit talker? They are good as fuck for this sport.
yeah.
Because they're telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, what you need to hear. Boston was definitely an asshole because that's how he made it. I stopped listening to Boston when he went after Jordan. He's like, goes after Jordan because he hated Matt Porter.
Yeah.
And Jordan was getting coached by Matt Porter at the time. And then I think he even ripped Porter when he died. And it was like, Jesus Christ, right? Don't be that big of a heel in the sport, right? You don't have to be a cocksucker. But like being that heel, Rich Piana exposing the industry, talking about, no, it's steroids. Your favorite person is not drinking 15 fucking protein shakes. They're taking Tren, Test, D-Ball. Like he laid it out. He laid it out. Rich Piana was so important for the sport. So important.
Both gone.
Both gone. Crazy. It's like what would you call that? It's almost like I don't want to say Jesus, but like they're only here for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
They're only here for a little bit, tell their story, tell their time, make their difference, and go. It's like the world almost can't take too much of that. You ever notice that? Like a lot of important people like that don't last long.
That's a good point.
I don't know what that is, right? But it's almost like the universal momentum is like, all right, you made your point, gotta go, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that to me is like the reincarnation theory, because reincarnation, you keep getting reincarnated until you fulfill your live life, and then you finally get to die. So like death is the ultimate reward. Being reincarnated and having to live here is almost like a trap. You have to
Until
keep
you
coming.
finish
Yeah.
what you were here for. Wow.
How nuts is that? That to me, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it makes a lot of sense, hippity dippity wise, not logically, but hippity dippity wise for sure. I mean,
No, it does.
what do you think happens when you die?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I think it's exactly like before you were born.
I have no clue.
Infinite nothingness. And that's what scares me. But also,
Why does it scare you if it's nothingness, though?
Because my
You'll
ego,
have no memory.
ego,
Your ego's scaring you.
100%.
Yeah,
I
but
want to
once-
be remembered.
If you
I
truly
wanna-
are deleted,
right. Well, that's how most
you
people.
as the person, you're not gonna ever feel anything again.
That's why most people that like take macro doses of psychedelics are normally okay with death, because it humbles them so much that like, and a lot of people believe like that's what happens after.
Yeah.
They believe like, okay, I turn into this spirit, or my soul doesn't die, my physical form dies. A lot of people I think that take like psychedelics are like agnostic, not like religious or spiritual, but like believe something,
Yeah,
right? Something's doing this.
yeah.
Something's making that grass grow like that.
I read something the other day that was really good. It said it's not about the things like just life, right? Like it's not about the things that you own, but the things that you can build for others is what keeps your legacy going. And I think that is something that is big, because we talk about like, I think there's a difference of egotistically wanting to be remembered, and then more so you're just remembered because of the impact, right?
I think that's still ego though.
But I think it's the different ego. Yeah.
It's the like which ones?
It's the which ego is
Yeah.
going to drive how you want people to remember you. Are you going to force it down everybody's mouth, or are you going to do so much for so many people that in the back of your mind, you know, you're helping them so that they remember you,
right.
but you know,
They do the work.
they do the
spread
work. They
legacy.
do all that, right? I think that was a pretty cool thing I read the other day.
Yeah, no, that's a good one for sure. And that shows, you know, the difference in like the ego. You could go this way and be like, what is Alexander the Great?
Mm-hmm.
Why he's remembered, or you can go this way and be remembered like the Dalai Lama or Nelson Mandela, right? Something that like Nelson Mandela was in jail. That's why he's remembered, because he went through his whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexander the Great tried to conquer the world. Right?
Yeah.
So two totally different egos. But yeah.
And they're both remembered.
Yeah, true that.
And on that note, remember to tune in.
For sure. And on that note, remember to hit fucking record next time, Dom.
Well, it's okay. We're still going to use the audio.
Yeah, so sorry about that. It
Sorry
was
about the
Dom's
first
fault.
like 20 minutes. That'll be like not on these mics. That was my fault.
Yeah.
But we always make mistakes. This is why we need a third person to just do this.
Yeah, that would be great.
You know?
Yeah.
So
do
if there's
not
anybody
do
that
not
wants,
apply. Do not
Yeah,
apply.
don't do that.
Yeah, 'cause I know what you were about to start. Do not do that.
What?
Because you're about to be like, if anybody wants to help, but no, you know how fucking bombarded you're gonna get with people that you don't want to
Yeah.
help, and then you're gonna have to be nice and say
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening today. Like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the fun algorithm stuff.
And if you made it this far, Dylan, go fuck yourself. I didn't say anything, but I'm getting ready for Dylan's wedding, and I can't fucking wait. Next weekend.
Next weekend, right?
No. I will be here next weekend.
Oh, 2
the following
weekends.
weekend. Yeah. Next weekend is going to be an entire roast session on Dylan. That's all it's going to be.